Hello and greetings to the parents and families of the class of 2028. My name is Mr. Joseph Reedy. I am the principal of Mechanicsburg Area Senior High School, and I'm delighted today to share what is known as a parent coffee. We used to have it in person years ago, and we've switched to an online version. We get more views this way, and also families and guardians are able to share it and rewind. And so welcome again to the Freshman Transition Parent Message. So I'm sure you have seen the amazing construction project taking progress throughout your past few years here in the district, and we are delighted to know that the end of this outstanding project is nearing the conclusion within this calendar year, around January 2024. And I'd like to start today in our welcome to the class of 2028 parents and guardians, and also any students who are listening to this presentation. Some pictures that you'll see around campus, and you'll notice here that the front of our building has changed drastically over the years. This is a beautiful piece of real estate in town, and you'll note that a lot of changes have happened within our property. Although these pictures were taken in the winter time, there is much transformation taking place on the the exterior of our building as well as the interior. You'll see when students come to campus here for freshman orientation and also the first day of school on August 26th, that they will find a lot of interesting changes in the interior of the building, and that will be finalized this semester. This is a look of our student entrance on the student parking lot side of campus. This is where a lot of our students in grade 11 and 12 would enter the building from the parking lot. This is our new wing and two-story structure here that houses a lot of our classes for our juniors and our seniors. Our student store is under construction, and we are looking forward to putting that online this calendar year. This is a view back in the new wing on the upstairs of the new wing. A lot of our science engineering courses are up here, as well as some other electives and major courses for our juniors and seniors. So look at our science labs. A lot of changes are taking place within classrooms as it fits to our vision of the high school, of what learning and teaching looks like as the years move on. Classrooms are looking fantastic around the building. We are prepped and ready to go for students on August 26th. And of course, our MASH main gym. Many events will take place this school year, including our opening day celebration and ceremonies for students as we come and welcome them on August 26th. And even this week on Wednesday for freshman orientation, our students will be meeting in the main gym. Finally, for now, this is a look at our MASH Student Plaza. In this rendition, we will see over time that our campus is looking beautiful, and it is allowing for a variety of programs to take place with the structure and layout of our building. So in today's presentation, known as the Freshman Transition video for parents, also known as Parent Coffee, our topics include the transition into freshman year. We're going to talk a little bit about the orientation coming up this week on Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit about advisory as well as Freshman Academy. I also spend some time in this presentation for parents about our academic program, including graduation credits, scheduling throughout your students' 4 years at high school. We will talk a little bit about social life and the importance of belonging to a community through extracurriculars, co-curriculars, athletics, and so much more. And then finally, for our Parent Coffee, I'd like to focus in on our work at the high school on getting students prepared for post-high school, for their careers, and we'll talk a little bit about Project Dreams and career development. So let's get going here. MASH transition. What we know about the freshman experience is that our freshman students transition into high school over time. It is not any one orientation, meeting, or time within the first 2 months of school. What we know is that for freshmen, for students to transition to any place, it is a journey. It takes time. And we often have found over the last few years that by the time your student is entering second semester and their fourth marking period, they have found a good foundation to success at high school. And it does take time. And so one of the things that your students will receive on Freshman Orientation Day on Wednesday coming up this week, August 21st, is they will get some big building expectations in terms of their behaviors in classrooms and in non-instructional spaces, but also they'll get a chance to meet their classroom teachers for semester one, and they'll get a chance for about 10 minutes each class period to get to know them and to understand what to expect during the school year, during that semester with that teacher. In high school, there is a heavier focus on personal responsibility. And a lot of the work that we do with students to prepare them is directed toward continuing their effective habits. So managing time is something a part of personal responsibility, but also decision making. Very proud of our curriculum, our academic program that exists K through 12. And one of those reoccurring themes is the skill of decision making. At high school, there's plenty of opportunities within our curriculum as well as in our programs for students to practice what it means to be a good time manager and a good leader of themselves. There's also a heavy focus at the high school on relationship building with teachers, peers, people in the community. There's oftentimes activities that we will do throughout the school year in the ninth grade courses and in something called advisory that focuses on relationship building, conflict management, conflict resolution, and working together on a solution. The other two focuses here have to do with healthy decision making, as I shared, within our curriculum, within the PE and health and career development, and many more. We help our students understand decision matrices, implications for decisions, but also a focus on wellness and what it means to be well. Throughout high school, there is an emphasis on post-high school planning, and your ninth grade student will be having career development their first semester of their MASH experience, and in that experience they're going to be learning about exploring what they might be curious in devoting their post-high school plans to. Of course, we know that career exploration is the goal of that is to be curious, to explore, to think about their personal passions and desires and challenges in the world that they would love to take on. And we know that although some of our students will know for sure throughout their time in high school what they want to do, we're also very aware that life is a journey, and that if we get kids curious about what they want to do or what they don't want to do, that is almost a more important objective for us in high school. So as we get into expectations for students, this is a slide here I want to share with you called Dress Like a Wildcat. This was created by art students last year when we got our new dress code. And so if you take a look at the illustrations of our students here, we do allow for headgear in terms of hats, obviously religious head coverings. You'll notice that there is an absence of midriff, so clothing for boys and girls needs to cover their stomach areas. And so this is just an example of what students will hear a little bit more of on the first day of school in terms of dressing for success here at the high school. For our dress code, we also stress the importance of wearing items that don't cause disruption, distraction. Our students typically do a really good job of this. Clothing is an extension of someone's identity and how they belong. And so dressing like a wildcat also means it's a representation of yourself. This year at Mechanicsburg High School, we are proud to introduce sort of a new mantra to help our students 9 through 12 understand what it means to be a wildcat. Our district has done some work in this area with teaching expectations for behavior K through 12. And so this year we will be introducing to our students about Wildcats Roar. You'll see here on the side of this chart, R stands for responsible, O is overcoming challenges, A is attitude and approach, and R is reinforce safety. And in the opening days of school and beyond, we'll be sharing with our students, and they'll be helping in this process of seeing what it means to look responsible, for example, in the cafeteria or bus, hallways, bathrooms, classrooms, or in the virtual environments, or what it means to have an approach in the hallways or bathrooms, or reinforcing safety. What does that look like in terms of a student being in a bathroom or being in a virtual environment? So we're excited this year to bring our students along the journey with us. So this is a preview of our MASH bell schedule for the 2024-25 school year. You'll notice here that student arrival starts at 8 o'clock, and students must be in their classrooms prior to 8:20. And that's one of the things out of the gate of the school year and beyond we'll be reinforcing and stressing to our students is that doors open at 8 o'clock. We have our light bell at 8:15. Our building is expanding and getting larger, and so it does take time to travel from our classes. And our freshmen and I'll show you later a map of our campus. Our ninth grade students are mainly located in the 100 and 200 block, with some in the middle of the school. But do take note here of the times for our school day. Adjusting to our schedule is probably one of the biggest adjustments or transitions for our ninth grade students. You'll notice here that each semester our students have 4 class periods. And each period here is 85 minutes, known as a block period. There are several advantages to this approach. Number one is many students appreciate during a semester that they only need to focus on a couple courses. All students freshman year get 6 majors, and so they get to spread out those 6 majors across 2 semesters. And so the other advantage is within an 85-minute experience, students are able to get deeper with their learning. They're able to transfer new understandings and information into new settings. Students are often able to get into the part of learning where they get to apply and make sense, practice, receive feedback, and have greater access to authentic audiences during a block experience. Period 3 is the class period where we have our lunches. We have 4 different lunches 1 through 4. And you'll note there that each lunch, there's a certain portion of the building that eats together. So, for example, lunch 1 includes our VOTEC students, CTC, students that are in a music class, or students in a 400 block in the new wing. And we do this approach to keep our lunches smaller. Each lunch includes about probably 350 students. Which when we had a couple lunches that were much larger, this gives us a chance to make a big school small, which is one of the themes here at MASH that we try to achieve. Period 4 concludes at 2:45, and then we have what's called IE period, known as Intervention Enrichment. And for freshmen, they are in this program. It's called Freshman Academy, and it runs from 2:45 to 3:15. It is required of our ninth grade students, and this lasts for most of the school year. We generally, around 4th marking period, is when we start to do some things a little bit differently for Freshman Academy. Over the years, we have introduced a flex activity during that time, or activities and clubs that could start sooner this school year, and that would be during 2:45, 3:15. But during that time period in Freshman Academy, students are able to get lessons in time management, social skills, habits of learning. They get advice and wisdom in terms of their grad projects, and there's a lot of group presentations that they do during this time, and we've seen great success in it. And in our 6 cycle days, the 6th day, known as day 6, you'll see it looks very different. Period 5, 8:20 to 9:45, and then period 6 in the middle of the day, and then our other courses, periods 1, 2, 3, and 4, are all adjusted to a smaller time period of 40 minutes. So the purpose of our Day 6 schedule is to allow for programming to exist that normally in a typical Bell schedule on a regular cycle day, it's hard to accommodate. So for example, for period 5 and 6, we have music ensembles that meet. They get extra practice time with their teacher and with their peers. We have case management meet with students with special education and other needs around the building. We have also our minor courses that have an extra chance to do labs and activities during that time. This year, we're branching out into some further enrichment courses. We have a Civil Rights Legacy course coming online during this time. And in the future, during Day 6, there's other opportunities that students will have during these times that will further enrich their educational experience here at MASH. Other opportunities include chances for students to get extra help in their courses. There's mentor opportunities. There's group opportunities with our counseling and our social worker, and so much more, as you'll find, and we'll share more into the school year. We also have other types of schedules. We have advisory that runs about once or twice a month, depending on the month. And every student in the high school receives an advisor. This is not a counselor. It's just a teacher that they may or may not have on their schedule. And the advisor has your student for 4 years at MASH. Again, it's another example of how we're working, and this advisory program has been here for more than a decade, for almost 2 decades, where students get a connection, a trusted adult in the building that they will get to know for 4 years. And this is also where we meet for informational dissemination. It's also where students get to meet and work on their grad projects here and there. And this year, we're also doing some work during this time to help with small little doses of skills and other lessons to help students with post-high school planning. 2-hour delay schedules and 2-hour delay schedule J6s are also shared here. And as that time of year arrives in the winter time, you'll receive more information about these schedules in advance as we near closer to the winter season. So I shared a little bit about our advisory program, and so as I shared, each advisory group is about 14 or so students. It is grade specific, and so there are some times throughout the school year where we get to blend advisory groups together, so a 9th grade group and a 12th grade group, so on and so forth. And as I said before, it is a focus on effective habits. It's got a focus on career exploration. And so there'll be times when the advisor checks in on the student's graduation project status and how things are going with their job shadows, all things we'll share with later. These are also times where we pull together grade levels for important things for them. So, for example, our seniors in the springtime, we get together to talk about the graduation. We talk about commencement, talk about prom, other big things happen in their lives. For our freshmen, there'll be times where we get together to talk about planning for their sophomore year. So at this point, I'm going to share a little bit more information about our graduation requirements. So starting with the class of 2025, students need 26 credits to graduate from Mechanicsburg High School. In addition to that, I'll do a breakdown here of what those credits entail. Students also need to complete the graduation project, known as Project Dreams. And they also have to have proficiency on the Keystone exam or one of the other pathways located within Act 158. And you'll hear more about that information throughout your child's schooling. So within the 26 course credits, there is 4 credits for English, 3 for math, 3 for science, 3 in social studies, 2 in arts and humanities, 2 for physical education. And then we give a half for credit in health. And then overall, 8 credits in the elective areas and 0.5 for grad project. Very proud of our emphasis on the electives here at MASH, that students have a chance to explore different areas of learning that they might enjoy, that are helpful in life. And so throughout the school year, when the counselors sit down with your student, and then when you hear about mid-year about our options for planning, it's really important that students focus on what they need to do to graduate, but also the areas within electives that what they would like to explore. Our course levels for students, we have a range of various levels. Level 1 is the most challenging. It's college prep. It's discussion-based lessons. There is oftentimes about a couple hours of work involved, oftentimes homework every night or homework every other night, but it's more of an intensive experience. Level 2 is a little bit slower paced than Level 1. Still a college prep, but there's more direct teacher instruction. There's certainly group work. Homework is used to review concepts, and a smaller amount of test preparation time, but not as much takeaway work in a Level 2 course. Level 3 is a regular education class. The focus is not so much to prepare students for an academic-based higher education, but it's skill-focused intervention work. There are smaller class sizes, and so we reserve Level 3 for students who need that extra support during their time at high school. And often throughout their high school experience, some students, they start off in a Level 2 course, and then the next school year, they've shown enough mastery, and then they're recommended to a different level, Level 1. We also have AP courses for our 9th grade students. We do have the AP Human Geography option, and as students become sophomores, there's more and more opportunities to take up pre-AP or other AP opportunities. So as you shared earlier in the presentation, the goal for freshmen is to schedule 6 major courses throughout their year, semesters 1 and 2. A major meets every cycle day, and a minor meets a certain number of cycle days. So it could be once a cycle, and in some cases, with our day 6, they're meeting on a rotation basis, which I'll show you in a graphic before. They must schedule health and PE, and also I'll add here career development. Your 9th grade student will have career development their first semester. They may also have a PE of course within there, and then of course their health would be scheduled the second semester for students. We also share here at the bottom, the course selection and level selection should be taken very seriously. Course selection, oftentimes when students are selecting something, should be in line with their future interests. And sometimes, as I shared earlier, the student might take it because they have some interest, but they're not sure if they would truly like it. For me, when I was a freshman at high school, where I grew up in New Jersey, I took a CAD class, engineering class, and I enjoyed my time, but I realized through that experience that engineering may not be something that I am fully interested in, and so I went a different path. We share here that schedule changes are not permitted once the school year starts. Honestly, that process is early in the summer, end of last school year, and of course leading up to day 1 of school. It is the goal that once students get that draft schedule in the mail with that My Letter, that there's a time frame in there to converse with their counselor. But really, once the school year starts, we don't permit schedule changes. This is another look at freshman classes. I already shared this information with you, but in general, our students mainly have their major courses that they have. Their minors would include health, PE, career development, and project management. Freshmen this year have career development semester 1. English, they would see on their schedule American Studies or AP Human Geography. Earth and Space Science, math is determined by their 8th grade math placement. So students are either in Algebra 1, Geometry, or Algebra 2, and in some cases there's the trig sequence. There are other elective major options that students could choose. There's those in the world languages and business, FCS, known as Family and Consumer Sciences, and Tech Ed, of course, music and art, and some other electives in other core departments. A lot of these will open up for your student after 9th grade year. This is an example of what a grade 9 schedule looks like, and this is something that I generate just to show parents what it will look like. So for example, let's say your student has English 9, level 1, it meets every single cycle day. On day 6, you'll notice that it meets after period 5. Student has American Studies, you can see that run all the way through, and you'll see in period 3, that's when they have their lunch. The lunch here for And this is representative of a chart from last year, but the student has lunch, and then they have their class period that also meets during that time. On day 6, their lunch takes place in period 6, and we share that information as day 6 gets closer, so students understand. But it's the same order wherever they have their class is when they would have their or whatever floor they have is when they have their lunch. And we'll share that more in detail with students. Period 4, this is a good example of what a minor course could look like. If they have a study hall that meets on day 1, they have study hall on day 2, 3, and then they have health on day 4, as well as PE. And so if you look on day 6, what students the first time through is a little bit confusing, but they get the gist of it. Is on day 6 we have different rotations of them, and so the first time we have day 6, this student would have study hall. On the 4th rotation of day 6, they would have health. On the 5th rotation of day 6, for period 4, they would have PE gym. So we walk our students through that throughout the process. It does take a couple rotations through for students to understand it. We go through it with them on the first days of school, and normally there's no problem at all. And you'll notice here that students 9th grade year have their freshman academy that runs all the way through. All right, so now we're looking at maps of our high school here. In a look of our high school, the format, most 9th grade students will have their courses located in the 100 block as well as the 200 block. Our gym, of course, and our art classes and tech ed and musics are located in the same areas. You'll notice on this map here that we have a section that's blocked off. The auditorium as well as the commons. This area is going to be closed during most of semester 1 as construction continues and nears its conclusion at the end of this calendar year. The area of the library, this will also be closed off for students during the beginning of the school year with plans to open it up in second semester. I'll show you the next map where the library is temporarily housed. You'll also notice that our pool area and locker room auxiliary gym is also closed until the beginning of semester 2. Here's our main entrance to the building, counseling center, nurse, main office, our school store, and students will get an orientation of that throughout the beginning of the school year. So I mentioned of our career focus for your student. You heard me share a little bit about Project Dreams, also known as our graduation project. It is required that students all complete a graduation project. For Project Dreams, what includes in that process and that experience is that each of our students at the high school will complete 3 job shadows. And along with the job shadows, there's a number of different items, all relevant and practical to a student or anybody after post-high school in the process of securing a job. So exploring a job, being curious, but also securing one, keeping it, and growing in their job. But more information will be shared with you in the weeks and months to come, as well as in our back-to-school night for Project Dreams. Students in career development also get their first introduction to the graduation project in their grade 9 semester 1 experience. And then when they become a junior, they will have another semester of career development where they get to practice their interview skills and continue working on their project among some other real-world activities. Advisory period is another setting for your student to get exposure to career focus in their planning for after high school. There are different ways to communicate between the school and you this year. The email is the most beneficial way to communicate with your teacher. We encourage students to take responsibility to reach out to their teachers. Every teacher has an email address located on the school website, and that information is often shared on day 1 or day 2 of the classroom experience for your student. Another place to communicate like I said before, is the website. There's a variety of different communication avenues on there, our phones, our email addresses. The Sapphire notification system is the other way that we communicate with you throughout the school year. We also have a Twitter handle, and then the counselor is another person that you can communicate with about your child. So some frequently asked questions. Can students carry backpacks? Of course, we would recommend that, especially as your ninth grade student will receive their Chromebook that they will have for 4 years at high school here. So that is a safe place to store their belongings. We don't give many textbooks for students these days. A lot of those resources are provided in a different format. But students often do bring backpacks along with them. Students are not assigned to lockers, but we do have day use lockers that students can check out, free of course, but they would just put in their combination that they can create. It's a digital lock. We also have other lockers that are beyond just day use. So if there's something that students want to store and not have to worry about cleaning out each day like the day use ones, we do have another bank of lockers throughout the building that they can use. Information on lockers will be shared with your student during the beginnings of school. How do we access bus stop information? That information is on the website. And that's where you can get all the updated info from the transportation department. Parent drop-off and pickup, as I shared, is the front of the school by the Broad Street side. The building opens at 8 a.m. each school day for students, unless there is a 2-hour delay or some other delay or closure, of course. And then the expectation regarding cell phones. We do see our cell phones as another learning tool. However, the expectation for students is that those phones are off and away during instructional time. We also encourage our students to take those phones and put them away in their transition between classes to truly disconnect from them. And so that is our expectation regarding cell phones, that they are off and away. I think a lot of schools in the area are going toward the trend of excluding them from their schools altogether. Right now, we are encouraging students and enforcing through our rules and policies that they are simply off and away. So if you can help us with your child this year to do that, we would do so. In some situations where there is a misbehavior tied to their cell phone use, we've even partnered with parents to exclude those devices from entering school. And in some extreme cases, we would take the device and have a parent pick that up if it's more of an egregious matter. Toward the beginning of the school year, students will get more information about extracurriculars and other activities to help belong to, in music, athletics, clubs, and organizations. We will have a extracurricular fair. Typically that takes place around October before homecoming season. And we'll have time set aside during a day 6 or advisory where students can explore all the different activities available to them. Tied back to communication, you can expect updates from me, your building principal, each Friday via Sapphire email. The update is created through what's called a SMORE. It's a translatable document that you can translate into most languages. And within that, I share an update about the coming week, things to expect. Once in a while, I'll send through there a video message or a voice message. The other way to get updates with your child's gradebook is through our Sapphire notification system and simply checking Sapphire. Final thoughts. I appreciate you so much listening to this Parent Coffee Freshman Transition video. As another reminder, I know I shared a voice message with you this past Friday, but freshman orientation is August 21st. That will be between 11:45 and 1:45. Remember, as I shared in the message, there is no lunch served that day due to construction in the cafeteria, but students should be dropped off by 11:45. Doors will open at 11:30 on that day, and we look forward to seeing your ninth grader on that day. Parents should not attend the freshman orientation, and the information that we would share is shared through this online version of the presentation. Sapphire portal for your students is active August 22nd, around 6 p.m. That is the hope for that, and that's when your child should be able to access their schedules for the school year. However, your child will get theirs on August 21st. First day of school for all students is August 26th. Doors open at 8 a.m. Students must be in their class by 8:20. We will have all students will receive an email prior to school. We will have each grade level report in a certain spot for their advisory. For all ninth graders, they're going to report directly to the main gym on the first day of school, where we will have their first day assembly, ninth graders first. Back to school night is September 5th at 7 p.m. We look forward to seeing you there. That's where you have an opportunity to meet your child's advisor and also their semester 1 class teachers. We also have a second back to school night in the second semester. So best wishes as we embark on the school year together. It is truly an honor to be your child's high school principal. I look forward to meeting them on freshman orientation on August 21st, and I look forward to meeting you and your family on our community events, athletic events, and hopefully your back to school night, which is September 5th. Thank you again, parents and families of the class of 2028. Let's have a great school year.